Now we will go through square roots and cube roots because it is in revision, so I will go through it very quickly. So this is an example about square roots and cube roots. If you times 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 2 cubed, and it's equal to 8. And for the inverse equation, it is equal to cube roots of 8 equal to, yeah. So the next example is about square roots. If you have 5 times 5, it will equal to 5 squared, and it will be equal to 25. You will have an inverse equation. It's square roots of 25 is equal 5. I think that most of people have known this before, as we have learned it in Vietnamese math. So please go to now. I want you to do an example of estimate roots, and I will give you a clue here. Here it's a clue, and please explain to me why you have the answer of square roots of 295. Give me the answer of 295 due to this clue. So I am seeing a lot of answers, and I think that most of you have quite correct about it. And now I'm giving the answer why. So 295 is between 289 and 324, and it's approximately 289. It's quite close to 289 more than 324. So the answer is here. Sorry. The answer is here. It is in your course book, and if you need time to write this down, do you need time to write this down? Okay, now we will move on. So 1.3 indices. Oh, I forgot the S here. Sorry. So in this part, we will learn mostly about power and index. This is an example, 3 squared. It can also code as 3 to the power of 2, but it's shorter. Well, problem of it. So 2 is the index of this is the index, and the plural of index is indices. There are something that you need to note down in this part. The negative powers of any positive integers are fraction, and any positive integers to the power of 0 is 1. For example, we have 1, let me see, 3 to the power of minus 2. So if it's a negative index, negative powers, so you will get it's equal to 1 over 3 to the power of 2, and it is equal to 1 over 9. And any positive integers to the power 0 is 1. To illustrate, we will have an example about this. For example, 3 to the power of 0 is equal 1. 9 to the power of 0 is equal 1. Even 1,000 to the power of 0 is 1. You can give me some example about these 2 red lines here in the chat box, please. Please have some example in the chat box. Give me some example in the chat box. And tell me if you can follow me or not. Are you following? I'm seeing a lot of answers here. Thank you. If you have any question, just write it in the chat box. I can answer it to you right now. Thank you. Do you need time to write this down in your notebook? You only need to write the 2 red lines down, or you can write it down, all down. It's due to you. You can write the example down. So most of people don't need to write this down, the part down. So we will move on. Now we are going to working with indices. There is very easy for you to know this because I think that you have learned it before in Vietnamese math. So now here for multiplying a to the can anyone speak this out for me? Speak this equation out for me, please. Please raise your hand, or I will invite someone to tell us more about it. So Harry in 8CI3, please unmute and tell us about this. Please read this equation out loud, please. Thank you.
Read both of them. So a power of m times a power of n equal to a power of n plus n is for multiplying. And for dividing is a power of m divided with a power of n equal to a power of m minus n.
Okay, thank you for reading it. This was very worth it. Wow. So now I want you to write some example for me in the chat box and tell me if you have understand this. Or you have any questions about it, just write in the chat box. I will answer it for you. I see that we don't have a question here, so let's move on to Unit 3. Now, Unit 3, place value, ordering, and rounding. There are some keywords that you need to remember in this part: jointing, significant, figures, BIDMAS, mass, I think so. And we will go through it while we are review about it in that part, in that section. Now, 3.1, multiplying and dividing, sorry, decimals mentally. There are some reminders for you here. If any numbers times decimal numbers between 0 and 1 is equal, it will have the smaller answer than the number that is given before. For example, 9 times 0.5 equal 4.5. And any number divide decimal numbers between 0 and 1 will have a greater answers than the numbers that we have given before. For example, 9 divided by 0.5 equal 18. Do you need time to write this down? Please type in the chat box if you need time to write it down in your notes. We will have 30 seconds before moving on. Okay, now we are moving on. 3.2, multiplying and dividing by power of 10. There are some important things to remember here. If you multiply a number by 1 over 10, 1 over 100, 1 over, or 1 over 1000 is the same as dividing these same numbers by 10, 100, and 1000. Or furthermore, Dividing a number by 1 over 10, 1 over 100, 1 over 1000 is also the same as multiplying the same number by 10, 100, and 1000. You can note this down, but I think it's not really hard to remember this. So I will give you about 10 seconds to about 15 seconds to write the keywords down. Okay, that's it. Let's moving on. We will moving on now. We're going to move on. So 3.3 rounding. I think it's really easy to do this. So the degree of accuracy is the number of decimal place you are working to. So decimal place, most people have known this before. Is you can see down here in the example here, sorry. About significant figures. The first significant figures in a number is the first non-zero digit in the number. So if the number to the right of this digit is larger than 5, then increase the digit by 1. But if the number have the lower value than 5, please leave the digits as it is. So this is an example about it. This is an example about it. 723. The significant figures, the first significant figures in this number is 7, so it's equal to 700. So we will go to the order of operation. People are going in, please mute. So BIDMAS. It stands for brackets, indices, division, multiplication, and addition and subtraction. So it's the order for you to do the equation. It helps you to remember the correct order of when you are if you are doing an equation. First you do the brackets, then you move to indices, then we'll do the division, then multiplication, then addition, and then subtraction. Do you need any time to do this? To write this down? Please just unmute and tell us if you need time. So now we are moving on. So 7.1 fraction in the simplest form. So what is the simplest form? Sorry. So does anyone knows about this simplest form? Please write in the chat box, please. Yes, so I can see a lot of answers here. Okay. So I need more interactions from you. Please write more for me, please. I can see about 3 answers, 3 or 5 answers here. Thank you. Do you need any time to write this down? So can we move on now? Please answer in the chat box, please. Thank you. So we are going to move on now. Sorry if I messed up anything here because I should check it twice. So we will move on to adding, subtracting, and multiplying fraction, dividing fraction. I think that most people have known this before, and here are some examples of it. So for adding, you must make sure that they have the same denominator. So if people are, you are sorry, I am having a lot of things. Okay, so in this part, I want to all now because I think that most people have known this before. So for adding and subtracting, you must to make sure that they have the same denominator. If the denominator is not really it's not the same, you should times both the denominator and the hello, can you hear me? Sorry. Yes. So I think I have just lost the connection. I think so. So for adding and subtracting, you must make sure they have the same denominator. If they don't have the denominator, you must time both the denominator and the numerator to have the same denominator, such as the adding part. Can you so can anybody read the two pictures for me? The first picture, I need some interaction here. Please unmute if you want to talk.
Can I read the picture?
Yes, of course. Thank you. Please read the first picture and yeah, please read the first picture, please.
So the first picture only.
Yeah, the first picture only.
Okay, so first of all, you need to add the whole number parts, and then secondly, you add the fractional parts and cancel this answer to its simplest form. If this answer is an improper fraction, write it as a mixed number. And thirdly, add your answers to steps 1 and 2.
Okay, thank you for reading it. And now I want one more people to read the second picture.
Can I volunteer, maybe?
Yes, of course. We can.
Okay. So here's a method for subtracting mixed numbers. 1. Change both mixed numbers into improper fractions. 2. Subtract the improper fractions and cancel this answer to its simplest form. 3. If the answer is improper fraction, change it back to a mixed number.
Okay, so thank you for reading. Now, we are going to move on to quizzes. We will have quizzes now. I will write it to here. We will have the code to join in. We are having trouble here. I am having a little trouble here. I will write the code here, and please join. Please write your name and also your class. I will write the code here right now.